Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Laura. We have Bunny next door, so please feel free to message in. We are live and interactive. Bunny's there to read all of your messages and comments. I am really excited about this show today. We do have two shows on this. This is our In Time for Christmas. It makes such beautiful scenes in here. So this is item number 250823. You've got the QR code there as well. You can scan that, or you can type in Time for Christmas and it will pop up on the website. Now this is our bundle. So you are getting the Rolling Hills card shape, plus you're getting On His Way in there. So you're getting the two in there, which I think it works out. You're getting two for the price of one, doesn't it? You're getting that one for nothing, something like that. It kind of works out to. You've got this on a show price for you, so this is going to go back up to full price at midnight tonight. Now, we haven't put a lot of samples of this on the socials or anything, and I've got to tell you, we are almost at 50% of the stock of this has already gone. So you guys have already found it. You're absolutely loving it. So if you do want to grab this collection, then do grab it while it's there, because we are, like I said, almost at 50% and we've only just started this show. So you're all super early getting up and very awake this morning. Right, now I am going to go through some samples with you. Now I'm going to start with the Rolling Hill card shape so you can see how this comes together. So it does make your card base, and then you have these scenes that will hang in the center, so you can see them there, which give you such a beautiful effect. Now, there's so many other dies that you could put into this as well to build that scene in the background. But we are going to put this together for the first demo, so you can see how easy and quick that does come together. And then you've got such depth on this die then. It looks as if they're flying out of that scene. Looks absolutely amazing. But you know, you can use these in lots of different ways. So that is the way that it's been designed to be used. Then if I bring this one in, you can see using it in a completely different way. Look at that. I think of all those Christmas dies that you've got from Carnation as well, that you could just build in front of this scene, or you could place in. You've got such a beautiful scene. I think it looks so pretty just with the scene. Just with the houses and the trees. Yeah, it's just like a proper classic Christmas, isn't it? But then you can also use them completely individually. So using them on your cards. It does. Bunny just said it looks a bit vintage. It does a bit, doesn't it? Really, really pretty. I love the moon and the clouds. And how many other cards or themes will you use the moon and those clouds with as well? Because like that, when I look at it like that and I take away the reindeer and just see it with a dark background, it makes me think of like Halloween-y. So you could really mix these up for different occasions as well. Then look at that. That is so lovely. So think about using them in different ways. And then this one, so from that with the rip in the circle, so it looks like it's popping out, we've got the exact same thing but using the card base with a diamond shape look. And it does really look as if he's popping out of that page. They look absolutely amazing. And then I've got one more here. Look at that, with that lovely scene. It looks amazing, doesn't it? And that scene as well, you could use that for just like winter birthdays as well. If you took away the reindeer, it could be like a winter birthday card. And the frame of that card itself, you could use that all year round and just don't use the scene. If you want to make a card shape and you want that card shape in there, you could use it absolutely, completely independently as well. I am going to go through the boards so you can see exactly what it is that you're getting in there. So I'm going to start with On His Way. It's so pretty, isn't it? I love how you could place that anywhere. So many different cards, and even like with the artwork, you could put things in front of it and it just looks right because of how it's been designed. You could put the trees there and it just works, doesn't it? You've got so much depth on that because of that artwork. You can pop anything in there. And the same with putting him in front of that moon as well, which I love. It's like that classic Christmas scene, isn't it? Where you see it, you look at the moon and you can see Santa like silhouette by the moon. It looks so pretty. Then we're going to go on to the Rolling Hills card shape. Now you do have artwork for this frame. Now the frame, you can see it really simple. This bit will just stick on top of there, and then you've got a seamless blend then, which makes that scene. So if you think about your card base with this frame on, that to me it just looks like a really vintage, antique looking frame. So you could use, that could be a wedding card, a Valentine's card, a birthday card. You could mix this card base up for so many different occasions. Obviously you've got those trees in there as well to build up the frame, and these two tabs are what goes on the bottom to actually hold the card together, but we are going to show you anyway, so you don't need to try and remember all that. And then you've got the actual base itself. So it is one die. Run that through. This is a separate die that adds these in, so you could leave that in, you could leave that out, depend on what you want to do with it. Then these are your hills, which you're going to build your scene up on. Now again, you could cut that out in white, add a little bit of green ink onto there, make it a summer card. You could change these completely if you want to, and use the card base as well on their own. Same with those houses. You could use them for spring, summer cards, and the clouds as well. So there's so much in here that it does fit perfectly for Christmas, but so much that you could use all year round as well. So there's a lot in this collection. So you do get the Rolling Hills card shape plus the On His Way. So you do have a lot in there. There's a lot of scope in there to do a lot of different things, which is what I think we all love with Carnation. We can do more than what is just been designed for. Right, now we are going to show you exactly how that card comes together first of all, okay? So you've got your base die. Now already you can see it's a lovely size on this die as well. All of the measurements for the dies are available on the website if you want to go and check. So to make the base, okay, you need to cut out one of these, then you need to cut out another one, and you need to add in this part of the die. So this is going to give you those cut lines which the scenes fit into. So when you're cutting this is going to be the bottom. This will fit in that center part there, okay? So I always use low tack tape, or if you're doing it, because if I'm doing something like this is the way I prefer to do it. Get your magnetic sheet on top, and then you can just place that down, and you can place that there, and it's not going to go anywhere. So that is how you're going to cut it out. That's going to be the back of your card, and then we need to cut out the front then. So for the front, we are just going to cut out one of these. Okay, and then you're also going to cut out two of these as well. And I love that they've actually put two of these in there, so you can just pop the two on, and then you can cut everything you need in one pass then. So I'm just going to run that through the die cutting machine. There, it says. So we're going to run that through, and I'm just, while that's going through, I'm just going to grab the other little bits that we need. So now that is going to give us the front of our card. So we've got that. Let's move this out the way. So we've got this now. So we've got the one with the tabs on, and we've got one without. Now this one, the only thing I've done, just to show you, because it's the exact same die, is I've just cut away the tabs on the side. Now you don't have to cut them off. You can just glue them back to reinforce those sides if you want to. The choice is completely yours. Now this tab on the back one with your slits on, this is going to go on the bottom, this one is going to go on the top. So we're just going to, your score lines are built into the die, so you don't have to get your scoreboard or anything out. We're going to fold these back on themselves. and we're going to fold this one back on itself as well, and this tab is what is going to glue on there to give us our card shape. Now before I do that, I'm going to cut this center panel out. Okay, so like we said, you've got so many options with this. You could build your scene onto that and use it as a frame, but for this one, because I'm making it into, it's almost like a shadow box style with those scenes in, I am going to cut this center part out. Okay, so you've just got little bits holding them in place, so really easy to go in and just snip these out. No fussy cutting, you just snip in those ends. I think there's 4 on each side and then 2 on the top and the bottom, so nothing too complicated. I wonder if people have started their Christmas cards yet. Yeah, I think they will have by now. I was actually, where was I? Well, I can't remember what shop I was in, and they had Christmas decorations last week. I can't remember for the life of me what shop it was. Halloween is in full swing. I love the Halloween decorations though. Absolutely. I'm guilty. I have bought quite a couple of Halloween decorations this year. Oh, yeah. Oh, Bunny, I've got a funny story to tell you about Halloween decorations. Right, I'm going to fold that bit. I've cut that out now, so this is going to be the front. I'm going to fold them back, and then this one is going to glue on the top there, just like that, and that gives us the base for our card. Okay, so let's actually, because I'm going to keep moving this, I'm just going to absolutely use a wet glue, but just because I'm going to be moving this a lot to show you how it goes together, I'm going to use red liner tape just so it doesn't come apart while I keep moving it. Oh, we've had a message off Annie on YouTube, and she's saying she started her Christmas cards. Oh, do you know, I always say every year I need to start early and get organised, and I never do. I need to start. Is it? Oh, yeah, so Bunny's just said it's only 4 months away. For me, Christmas every year, I feel like, oh, it's ages away. It's ages away until I'm like, oh, it's like 2 weeks till Christmas. And then it's like panic mode of, oh my gosh, I need to do so much. Right, so we've got the base. Now, these two that I told you were going to cut out from this die, so you can see you've got score lines in there. So when you cut this out, it's going to look like this, and then you are going to fold these like so. So again, you're not getting your scoreboard out, your score lines are in there, and this is going to sit on there like that, and then this bit is going to sit to the front like that. Okay, so again, I'm going to use red liner tape to pop this on. So I'm just going to put a little bit there. Like I said though, if I was doing this at home, use a wet glue because you get a much stronger bond with a wet glue than a tape, even red liner tape. Okay, I'm just doing this so it doesn't move while I'm putting everything together. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to do the same with the other one, because obviously you're going to have one there and one there. So that one's going to go like that. Oh, we've had a message off Eileen saying she's already started her orders for Christmas. Wow, that's organised. and we've had a message of Helen saying she makes Christmas cards all year round. Do you know what, Helen? I think that's the way to do it. Yeah, you can just, even if you made one a week or one every other week, by the time Christmas comes around, then you've got a stack of Christmas cards ready to go, which would make life a lot easier. I feel like that's the way to do it. Yeah. I think we need to take a leaf out of your book. Right, now I'm going to pop that there on the corner, and let's do the same thing here. So I'm just going to fold that and we'll pop that there like that. Now so what you're going to do then is obviously you're going to pull this in, that's going to stick there, so that is what's going to hold that together, okay? And then you've got that tab there on the bottom as well, which will help it stand up. But before I do that, I'm going to stick those scenes in. So when you cut, you do get the artwork like you've seen on the board for these scenes. These are going to go into there. So now you can decide how you want these to be. So this one, we're going to stick this one on the bottom one, because what I've done is the next one I've cut away. So you can see you've got like a frame. Can you see you've got like a frame on the inside? So exactly like how we cut that one out, you've just got little pips there holding that inside part together. So you could build this up. You could cut all of that out and leave like the bottom two hills, and then cut out another one and add in another hill, and then cut another one out and add another hill. So you could build these up as much as you want. But for this one, I've got a full one, and then we're going to pop this one there as well. So before I do that, we're going to decorate this scene. Now, obviously, this one is going to go in front of it, so I only really need to worry about those back two hills, if that makes sense. So let's get a moon, because I love that moon. I think it is so pretty, if you can call a moon pretty, but that's a good way to describe it, Bunny. It's magical. Right, I'm just going to grab a glue applicator. We do have on the website. Oh, Bunny's asking me what day glue I have. Check me out. I've got into it now. I know what day it is. It sounds so silly to think sometimes I don't know what day it is, but like, you know, I don't exactly do it like a Monday to Friday job. So like some days they just blend into one. So I'm gonna stick a cloud on the back of that moon, just like that. Now I don't mind if that overhangs a little bit. So that's going to go there, and then I'm going to get another one and I'm going to stick that there in front of it. So I'm adding some depth into that as well. So I'll put a bit of glue on the back of there, and then that is going to go there. Now I think this on its own is just so pretty. How many other scenes can you build that into? And it'll just work absolutely perfect. I even think just that on its own, don't know if you've got like a really nice background and you just add that in with a sentiment, it would look so pretty. So we're going to add that about there, and then you've got your trees and obviously your houses. So you've got different size. Have I used all the bigger ones? Oh, I think I've used the bigger ones. Now you do get different ones. Hang on, I'll just show you. So you can see you've got those two different sizes, and then you've got these really large trees as well that you can add in too. So obviously we're not going to use them because I've used all those smaller ones, bigger ones. I did, I must have got carried away. So we're going to add in some of these. Now what I love about these, you can pop them kind of into the scene. What you can also do with this, which I love, is you've got the cut line that goes all the way across. So you could tuck these in to the hills as well. So it makes it really easy to build a scene up. But this one, because it is nice and long, you can easily go into these and snip them. And that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to follow the cut snip lines on that little bush in front of the tree, in front of the house. And then I'm going to cut that away. So that still looks fine. Obviously that bit doesn't, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck this in there, like that. Just put a bit of glue on him. And then we're going to add, so that little bit that I've cut, obviously we want to cover that now. So let's tuck that in there. So that looks as if it's just in there like that. Should we put trees behind there as well? And cover a bit of the moon? And then I'm going to get one of those smaller trees, because we are going to, this is going to go, so that bit that I've cut, I'm going to put that there, so that just covers that, and obviously they fit in there perfectly anyway. Let's glue this moon down. And then we can put some trees in front of there. So that is going to go there. And then put a little bit of glue on top of here. And then that is going to go there like that. So you've got those trees there. Behind there, you've got the house, all the cottages, and we've got that. Now, let's put that one there. Yeah, so we're going to leave that layer like that, and then our next layer is going to go in. Now, you can glue those in too if you want to. So obviously, if you're posting them as well, you can just glue it on the back there. Is going to go in. So this is now going to sit there like that. So see, when I lift that up now, so can you see how that just, you've got so much dimension in there, and that's all you're doing is just layering those up so you can see what that looks like. And then obviously that is going to come down as well. It looks so pretty, doesn't it? So this front one now, we can go in and add some more. So let's, where do we want that? And actually, I think we should add that there on that side. And I'm going to put a little tree in as well. So I'm going to put this tree in first. So I'm going to put that there, I think, and then let's put some glue on this, because then I can move the other one just in case. I'd always use a wet glue when you're building a scene like this, because until you start actually sticking it in, you might think, oh, actually, I want to see that tree now, I want to higher up. So you might think, oh, actually, I want to move that. So always use a wet glue, because then you've got time to just give it a bit of a wiggle and move things around where you want them to go. Then I'm going to add in a big tree there, and then a little tree next to it. So add a bit of glue on there. I'll stick that there in the corner. And then let's get a little tree to go next to it. Now that, to me, if that was just on a card, that was flat on a card and you just put a Christmas sentiment there. I think that looks so pretty, just like that on its own. Really, really pretty. But obviously we are building this up. You can just imagine them all, yeah, with people around the fireplace, just having the best time. Right, now I'm going to pull the tape off the front of these, and then I'm going to do this upside down. So this will go on there like that. And then same on this side. That's gonna go on there like that. So now we've got our card that will stand like that. But you'll see that that was still, it still goes completely flat. So posting it, you are absolutely fine, but you've got that there. Now, the next thing is obviously the front. So you do have this artwork for the frame, but what I love about this frame is you can use this, you'll use this frame and this card shape all year round, because there's nothing, to me it just looks like an antique frame, and especially in this colour as well. So let's put that on there. And then this is gonna go on there like that. It looks so pretty. That's gonna go there, and then you have, oh, this bit then, that it'll just sit across there. And this just lines up perfectly, so you don't know that it was two parts. So what I do is I just go corner to corner, and that just lines up just like that. And then what we'll do is bring in some of these bigger trees. So you do have bigger ones in there as well, so we're going to put some here to add in to that scene now, because you can really build these up and have obviously your bigger elements at the front. So let's add this in there like that, and then let's get a smaller one. These are so easy to shape as well. So but all those other Christmas collections you've got, or anything, these will fit in. Even just with characters, you could put these in just to make a scene behind them. That's going to go there. And then I am going to put, I think, one of the smaller ones there as well. So I'll just add a bit of pin flare. I'll put that there like that. And then we're going to bring in On His Way. Just look at him. It's so pretty. There's something really majestic about reindeer. They're so lovely. They're really fluffy as well. Really, really fluffy, yeah. They do have a lot of saliva though. I think it was last Christmas, Charlotte was feeding them, and like the saliva was literally like, yeah, dripping off her hand, and she's just like looking at me and I'm looking at her like, what do you want me to do? Like, ooh. But yeah, they are so pretty. I was quite shocked of how fluffy they are. They're really, really fluffy. Yeah, true. Bunny's just said they need to keep warm. That is true. Right, I'm going to use pin flare on this. Obviously, if you're doing this with pin flare, just leave it flat so that it has time to dry before you pick it up. But I'm going to just do this quick so that that doesn't fall. But look at that. I think he's so cute. He's so cute. But how easy was that to actually come together? And it looks so effective, and it looks like we've spent ages actually building that. It looks really, really complicated, when in fact it was really easy. It was a couple of die cuts, and that is done. Yeah. I just spent that whole time looking for the top of my glue and never found it. There you go. Right. So as you can see, we've used everything there from the In Time for Christmas. So you've got the Rolling Hills card shape, which, like I said, use it in so many different ways. And then you've also got the On His Way, so which is such a lovely die. You'll absolutely use these in completely different ways as well. There's so many different ways to use it, and that card shape as well. You know, take it completely away from Christmas. You will use that in lots of different ways. Right. I've gone a bit thing on this one, Bunny. We're going to use, it's Christmas, so we've got to use tiny lights, don't we, for Christmas? Now, tiny lights are on the website. You get 4 in a pack, and you get 2 in one length. And I did have some here, but I don't know where they've... Oh, I've got one here, hang on. Obviously, I don't know how much it is, Funny, but... So you get, yeah, you get 4. One is an 8 LED string, and you get 2. So you get 2 in 8, 2 in 16. Now, what I love about these as well is the batteries come included as well, because there's nothing worse than you get something and then you've got to try and find the right batteries for it. And so the batteries are included. Okay, you get enough batteries for the 4. How much was it? $14.99. Oh, so Bunny's just said if you add these in with the In Time for Christmas collection, then you go over into the free P&P mark. Oh, $54.98. That's good. I'm terrible at doing stuff like that. Like, oh, I think I need that, and it's free P&P. Yeah, exactly. Right, let's add these in, and 1, 2. Right, so I've got my lights, so you can see how easy. Now this is the shorter one, but you can see for cards, I don't feel like, you know, you do have the longer one in there, but I feel like for most projects that would be ample to be able to use. And I love the fact that it's actually wired, so even it doesn't matter what type of card shape you were trying to make, because they're wired, they will hold their shape as well, so it's a lot easier to actually get it onto where you want it to be. And it's really thin as well, and I love that this part is thin, because that you could even just fit that in between some foamed matte layers, and then just have the actual switch bit just sticking out from one of your matte layers, and that'll fit in really nice. Right, so for this one, I'm not doing it how it's supposed to be. We're going a bit rogue with this one. So I've cut out 2 of the card base, the card shapes. Okay, and I've cut the sides off. This one, I've left the tab on the bottom. And then this one, I've cut them all away, because I'm just going to stick that on there just to support this bit a little bit more. And then I've got another one where all the tabs are on there, but I've cut out the middle bit. And this is going to go on there like that. So I'm almost making like a box card. Okay. So this is going to go on there like that. So let's glue this bit first. Oh, Fiona has messaged saying good morning. Morning, Fiona. And she's saying that this Crafter Select is stunning. I really agree with you. Oh, Elaine West has messaged in as well saying good morning. Linda McLeod has messaged in as well. Oh, and Bunny's just told me that we're now up to 60% of the stock of this is gone. We're not, are we even halfway through the show yet? Oh, only just. So it has, I think everybody agrees with you guys at home that it is really, really pretty. I think it's such a usable one as well, though. It's not, for me, it's not just Christmas. You'll use the card shape for other projects as well. Right, now I've got a little bit of acetate and I'm just putting some red liner tape on here so I don't forget that bit, and then I'm just going to open that up. Now before I do that, we're going to build, so this is going to go in the center of our card. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this in, and I swear I'd already cut one of these out. Oh, well, anyway, this is going to go in and this. So I'm going to make this scene longer, okay? So I'm going to cut this tab off. It doesn't really matter if you don't. You're not going to see it anyway. But this is going to sit there. And then this one, we're going to cut this like that and follow those cut lines down to there, I think. So I'll just snip these away and then do the same on this side. So snip, snip, snip. So I love that you haven't got to go in and actually fussy cut. It's just a few little snips, and then that is going to sit on the bottom there. Okay, now this bit is going to be covered anyway, so you're only going to see that bit, but it just makes it easier to line everything up, okay? So you don't need to be too worried about cutting that bit, okay? Don't stress about trying to cut it straight. Doesn't matter. Now before we stick this in, let's make our little scene up on here first. So I'm going to start with the moon, because this is going to be the furthest thing away from my scene. So I always start with the moon. Now let's get some more glue. Let's build this up. So we're going to go in with our clouds. So I'm going to put that there, I feel. And just add that on there. So this is going to go on there. I'll put a bit of glue on that. It's going to go there, and then I've got another one here. I'll put that one there across the front. So I'll just build that up. Add a bit of glue, and then that's going to go there like that. Now before I stick this down, I do add my seam bits in first, because if I'm going to tuck anything in, you know, you imagine if you've already glued that down, it's going to be a lot harder to try and just tuck things in. So if you're tucking anything in, tuck them in before you actually glue your scene in, because it will make things a lot easier for you. Now I feel like we need to do this one a little bit different to the other one. I quite like that, you know. Do you know what? We're going to do this one a little bit more simple. A bit clean and simple. Right, let's put a little tree in there. And I'm going to add in, so these trees Again, just follow that cut line. And these are going to tuck in. There, I think. Let's add a bit of glue on there. And I'm going to just tuck that there, and then that bit that I've cut, I'm covering it with that other tree then. So we've got those trees there, and I'm going to add these ones in there as well. So let's just put a bit of glue and put that in there like that. So we've got our mountain scene that you could use. If I didn't put anything Christmas on that, you could use that for so many different occasions. It just looks like a lovely winter scene. You could put animals, you could put the foxes or deer there. Happy birthday, could be anything at all, couldn't it? Right, now I'm going to stick this down. So let's add some glue around here. And then that is just going to go in the center like that. So we've got that in there. And then this one we're going to add in next. So I'm going to put some glue, I'm just going to use this, across the houses. This is going to tuck in there like that. And then my trees, just put a bit of glue on this side. We're going to tuck behind those like that. So then that is going to go there. And now when I look at it, actually I want to add a bit more in. Because why not? So I'm going to add, and this is the lovely thing about being able to do it like this, because you can now look and oh, actually no, I'm going to keep it like that. Yes, we're going to keep it like that. So this bit, what I am going to do is I'm going to put a bit of foam tape on here just to raise this up a bit, because this bit is obviously in front of that scene. So I'm just going to add some tape on there. And then what I like to do is, if I'm doing something like this where you've got some bits that you want sticking up, but those edge bits, these don't need to. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue on there, and then we can pop that there like that. I need to cut them down. Cut them so they don't cover that. And then just glue those bits down. So I've got my scene there now. Right, now, acetate. I am going to put the tiny lights, let me see, 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some red liner tape on the inside. So cut that, and I'm going to put a little bit across the top, and then down the center bit of this. Now you could do this exact same card, but obviously you can leave out the acetate if you want to. I love using acetate, and especially Christmas. I feel like I use acetate more Christmas time for some reason than any other time. But there we go. Right, so we've got our lights, and that's about the middle. So I'm going to stick that on there. stick that along there. Now, what I do like to do with the tiny lights is I'll go over like certain areas, so in between the lights. So you can see I've got a light there and a light there. I just go over that bit with a bit of tape. Do you know, if I'm not putting it in between any layers, or there's nothing going to go in between it, then I'll just put a little bit of tape just to make sure that they're not going to come off. So let's stick these along there. But you can see they do stick really well, and they do hold their shape as well, so it's not the end of the world. And then same on this side, so pull that centre bit off. And then, you can see it's already sticking to it. That's going to go there, like that. So I've got my tiny lights in place. So let's grab this. So now that tab that we've made, this is going to go on there like that. So always take the acetate to the card. Trying to not get my head in the way, so we have the light shining on there. But so once you pull your tape off, just line up the score line to the edge of the card, and then that will just sit there like so. And then this is going to sit on there, so that's covered. So I'm going to use a wet glue just for speed. Now you should use red liner tape, okay? But that is going to go on there like that. Okay, so we've got that box essentially, but you have got your card. Okay, and I like that because I've left that tab on, it kind of like covers that bit as well. Right, now we need the frame. So we've got this lovely Go frame, so we can add this in next. So just put this, I do really like this frame. I think even just using this on like just a DL card, just for any occasion, it just looks like a really nice antique looking frame. DLs. Yeah, I think that, I don't know what it is with DLs. I think it's an unusual shape as well. Because I feel like if you go into like a card shop, you don't really see, well, I'm saying that, I can't remember the last time I went into a card shop, but you know, they're normally square shapes, aren't they? Or a rectangle, like a large rectangle. You don't really see a DL in there. So now just line that up on the top. So we've got our frame. Now you can see already, I think that looks so pretty, but let's add some trees on the front. So we're just going to build this on the front of here. So I'm going to get some pin flower and add these trees. Now you've obviously, you know, with carnation, you've got all those detail lines in there. So even just with your fingers, go in, give them a little bit of shape, and you can see, look, they just hold the shape perfectly. So never be afraid of going in and adding some shape to your die cuts. That's going to go on there. And then let's add this one there. And he is going to be like coming out of the tree. So I feel like do I put that there? How do I put it there? There. Bunny's saying the other side, so we're going with what Bunny says. So we're gonna put that there. And then same with our reindeer. Just gonna give him a bit of shape, and then these just come like that, and then we can add that in there like that, so he looks as if he's coming out of there. It's so pretty. Add that, put a little bit of glue on there, and then that is just gonna sit there like that. And then what I would do with these is just put a little bit of red liner tape on there, and then I would glue that but there behind the tree, because then you're not going to see it, and then all you'll see is that switch coming up from the bottom. Okay, but obviously just from the, oh, we should have turned the lights off. And then I can't even switch it on now. There. Oh yeah. Oh, you can't see the lights though. Oh, Bunny's coming in. She's coming in. I don't know how to do it, otherwise I'd do it myself. Do I just press the, oh, she's already on her way. Do I just press the power button? Yes, she's there. Let's do it. Oh, we're gonna hold it. There you go. That was so worth it, Bunny. Ta-da! Oh, it's like a magical winter scene. She's so talkative in my ear, but as soon as that door opens, you want to see her biting her lip and not say anything. Right, let me turn that off. Right, so you can see. Right, I'm gonna grab the samples so we can go through them here so you can see them up close. So you can see different ways that these have been done. Let's pop that there. Right, so we've got one here, and just to remind you, oh, we've jumped, so we're almost at 70% now of the stock of this is gone. It's been so popular. I can't believe that. All right, we haven't even finished the show yet, so it has been really popular. We do have another show at 12 with this as well, so fingers crossed we'll still have stock for that show. Hopefully we will, but the price on this is on a show price for you, but it is going to go back up at midnight, obviously if there's still stock there. It will go back up at midnight tonight, so don't miss out on that show price. But look, even using it completely away from the card shape, it just looks absolutely incredible, and using it in a different way as well, so using it landscape. How pretty is that? Really lovely. And then you can see here, so this is how that card shape comes together. So if you're only now joining us, we did do this as our first demo to show you exactly how that card shape comes together. It looks really effective. It looks really complicated when in fact it's really easy to come together. So you have that on there, and I love this one with it looks like it's coming out of the paper, and it just makes me think of like wrapping paper as well, like just rip. Are you a person, Bunny, who rips the wrapping paper, or do you try and open it tidy? No, Bunny's saying she rips it, ripper. She rips it like an animal open. And to be fair, I feel like that's the way it should be. Yeah, that's the way it should be. You just get something and just rip it up. And this one again with that tear in the circle. How pretty is that? And that's just using On His Way, and then only using some of the trees there from the Rolling Hills card shape. when you break that down. They are just so pretty, and think of other collections that you could use these with as well, because I do believe the Rolling Hill card shape, you could use that throughout the year with different collections, because the frame on that just looks like a really nice antique frame. And then you've got that card base that you could use with other collections as well. So you've got a lot in here to mix and match up. And you do get a lot in there as well for that show price. Right, so just to remind you, we are almost 70% of the stock of that has gone. We are going to take a little break now. So me and Bunny will be back at 12 with the same show. So we'll have different demos for you. So fingers crossed, we'll have stock for that show. But go off, grab a cup of tea.